What's up, guys? Specstar here today with my Week 9 battle of MLBA, and I'm going up here against Bacon. And Week 9 here is the transaction deadline, so if you guys stick around to the end, you'll probably get a little bit of a surprise from the moves I make as the deadline approaches, and they are big. There are some big moves here. But first, I'm taking on Bacon here, and he has a team consisting of Tentacruel, Megalopony, Zapdos, Tapu Lele, Crocodile, and Sceptile, and I have a team here consisting of a physically defensive Mega Venusaur with Synthesis, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and Earthquake. I have a Specs Pheromosa with Focus Blast, Bug Buzz, Ice Beam, and U-Turn. I have a Choice Scarf Darkrai with Dark Pulse, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, and my last move, I believe it was Ice Beam. And an Assault Vest, specially defensive Metagross with Meteor Mash, Earthquake, Pursuit, and Ice Punch, was it? It was something like that. I'm never gonna remember all my sets. Next, I have a physically defensive Dragalge with Sludge Bomb, Thunderbolt, Draco Meteor, and Surf. And I have a physically defensive Piloswine with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Icicle Crash, and Ice Shard. So here I'm going to lead off with my Mega Venusaur, and that is because against most of his Pokemon that's good for me, and it lets me get off my Mega, which gives me better bulk to bring it in later, of course. So I'm going to bring in my Venusaur. He's going to lead Crocodile. I'm going to go right for the Giga Drain because I think there's a good chance he's just going to get his rocks up early since he led off with Crook, as he does, and I'm going to get a Giga Drain. Here I thought he may opt to switch out into Tentacruel because Liquid Ooze on Giga Drain, so I'm going to go for an Earthquake. Instead he goes down to Zapdos, and I do not want to take a hit from that thing because I'm imagining I'll have something for Venusaur. As I go into Piloswine and I'm crit by an Air Cutter, I'm getting a little bit behind. From the Air Cutter crit, I'm going to learn that he's definitely got some investment in a special attack, which is good for me to note for later. Looking like a more offensive set, I would guess. Which kind of offensive set, I still don't know, and I will find out as the battle goes on. I'm going to go for my Stealth Rocks as he brings in Crocodile. He's going to go for Superpower, hoping to score the knockout, but Piloswine is such a monster. It lives comfortably. I don't know about comfortably, but 9% left after taking that Superpower. So he's going to bring out his Megalopony, and I'm just going to go into my Venusaur, which is a great answer to it. This Pokemon's a monster, but Venusaur is one of the best answers to it there is. And he's going to go into Zapdos, which is getting worn down by the rocks a little bit, assuming it doesn't have Roost, which based on it being a little offensive, we know it's a possibility. He's going to go for Air Cutter as I go into Dragalge, and he's going to do a healthy chunk. I'm not especially defensive invested, but this is a Dragalge. That is pretty good damage for him. So he's going to go into his Tentacruel on my Sludge Bomb, and I am not scared of this thing with my Dragalge. I'm going to go right for the Thunderbolt. If he spins, he's going to lose a lot of health on this Pokemon. Instead, he goes for Ice Beam, which tells me he may not be spin, which is really nice for me. And here, I'm going to take him out with the Draco Meteor as he opts to go for another Ice Beam. That means that these rocks are very likely here to stay, which is nice for me. They're more annoying to him than they are to me, I believe. He's going to bring out his Megalopony, and I'm just going to go Venusaur again. Dragalge still has value as a sack. There's no reason for me to let it go there. Venusaur's a great switch in Lopunny. And that Pokemon is a monster, but Venusaur's been making it a lot easier for me to deal with. It's been doing a great job taking that Mon on. He's going to go into Zapdos here, and I'm just going to sack off my Piloswine. I'm looking at his team, and I am not seeing a great switch in on his Specs Ice Beam, so I'm going to bring in my Pheromosa. I'm going to go right for an Ice Beam, take the Zapdos out, get my Speed Beast Boost, and he is going to opt to go into his Megalopony here. Still out of range of Ice Beam, so I'm going to have to go into my Venusaur, which is a pretty comfortable answer to it. He's going to go for Fake Out, trying to get that nice chip on Pheromosa in case I wasn't Specs, which he did not know if I was or not. And I'm going to Synthesis up. And my always answer to Tapu Lele is my Metagross. And I'm going to take that Moonblast with a Plum, and I'm going to go right for a Pursuit, thinking he does not want to stay in here, which he does not, and I'm going to do a decent chunk to that thing, really setting up my Venusaur to win this game. He goes in a Lopunny, and I'm going to go into my Venusaur as I've been doing. He'll go for a high jump kick, I'm going to Synthesis up, and he's going to return as I do so. Here I'm going to click Giga Drain, and trying to get some chip on this if he does opt to leave it in. He instead goes out into Tapu Lele, and it is going to barely survive this Giga Drain, but it has no more rock switch-ins. I'm going to go into my Metagross again, which is my fairly reliable answer to this. He's going to go for a Shadow Ball, do a decent chunk, but not too much. And I'm going to take the thing out with just a Pursuit. Died to rocks anyway, wasn't really going to switch out, just my 100% accurate move to click. He's going to bring out a Sceptile, and I'm going to click Meteor Mash to try to put this thing in range of Venusaur. He's going to go for Earthquake and take me out. So I'm going to go into my Venusaur. If he Sword Stances up, I'm out of range of an Acrobatics, so I'm going to click my Sludge Bomb, do a decent chunk to that thing. Here, it's not a 2 KO, so I'm going to Synthesis up. But it is a 2 KO because he gets the crit, which makes this a lot more annoying for me. I'm going to have to go into my Darkrai because I know it can take a hit from this thing. And I will take the thing out. I know that Darkrai would take a Fake Out here, but it would not take a Fake Out into Quick Attack. And I thought that was a real possibility, seeing as how I have Pheromosa. So I'm going to sack off my Dragalge and bring back in my Darkrai, which it's a roll in my favor to take a Quick Attack. And I'm going to go for Psychic, but he will get the roll after getting the crit. That's just Pokemon, can't get upset about it. And I'm going to bring up my Pheromosa and have to rely on the least accurate move in the game, Focus Blast. And it lands, fortunately, and I'm able to cop the 1-0 victory. Now, Focus Blast may not technically be the least accurate move in the game because you got Hypnosis, Grass Whistle, the Sap Cannon, the OAKO moves, but play a little bit with Focus Blast. Try to have to land Focus Blast to win a game, and then tell me that move isn't the least accurate move in the game. I want to see someone in the comment section who's got the McNuggets to try and tell me that Focus Blast ain't the least accurate move in the game. Because I'm telling you, it is. But we miraculously landed there after a little bit of a scare on that crit, and I'm able to win 1-0. Now, Pheromosa is going to go out in this game as a hero, and I'm going to move on to 7-2. 1 differential behind first place in the league. The crit kind of cost me, but the first place guy got hacks too, so can't complain too much about that, even though he is the king of hacks himself. It was not that way for him in his last battle. But, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the transaction deadline approaches, and I made a move. Let me get my angle right on OBS. There we go. And these are the Pokemon who are leaving the team, and Pheromosa went out a hero, landing that Focus Blast to win its last game on my team. I wound up having to drop it. I dropped Rotom Heat, Tornadus Eye, and Dragalge, who I was enjoying using. These were Pokemon that I just had to go to shuffle up my points around and make the transaction work for me. And these moves, I don't know if they were the smartest for me, but there was something I wanted to try, and that is going to be this Pokemon right here, Reshiram. I wound up trading for Reshiram, and I had an opportunity to use Reshiram in a league, and I had to go for it. I mean, this Pokemon is busted. Let me look at these stats. I mean, that is a Walls bulk. 100, 100, 120. It's a Walls bulk. And then it's got 150 special attack. Make it modest and you get that thing up to 416, right? No, 438, even better. 140 is 416. So this Pokemon's got power. That's not it, because I can put this thing on Adamant and get it up to 372. So this thing is powerful on both sides. It's bulky on both sides. One thing it lacks is speed, where it's not horrible, but it's definitely no man's good speed. And this Pokemon's going to be a weapon for me, because there are not many good switch-ins on that Dragon Fire stab. Especially not when it has 130 power moves for both, being Draco Meteor and Blue Flare. And my vote in this league was not to allow this Pokemon. I did not want this thing allowed, but now it is on my team, and this Pokemon is busted. And there were other moves. It interestingly gets Defog. Has some other stuff in Outrage, Rock Slide, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Stone Edge, Tailwind, which is fun, Will-O-Wisp, Zen Headbutt, fun stuff like that. This Pokemon's going to be very interesting for me to put into action. I claimed at the start this Pokemon was busted, and now it's my time to prove it. I traded Dragalge for Golbat as a transaction, free agency. And the reason is because I got Reshiram, I wanted to get less ground weak, and I wanted to have a better hazard control with Rotom gone, and Golbat fits the bill here. Golbat's a Pokemon I'm a big fan of. I've used it for a while. I think it's very good for its price. Munches hits with its bulk. None of the stats look impressive here, but you throw in a Violite and this thing takes hits. I also went and I grabbed Slowking, losing Rotom Heat, and with that I lost some of my bulk core. And Slowking was just a good fit with my team because it pairs so well with Mecha Venusaur. They have great typing synergy, and this allows me to get a little bit more defensive on my team. Kind of build around Reshiram, have a way to bring Mons in, get this Mon in, get that Mon out, hit and run. And Slowking fits the bill with that, allowing me to take hits and switch out. Slowking is, of course, has that regenerator ability and a great special defensive bulk. Somewhat respectable defensive bulk, you can make use of that. And the last mod I'm going to add, because I had 1 point left after these transactions, is Dewpider. And Dewpider is just backup Swirlix. I took it because Swirlix was gone and I needed something that cost 1 point. And there is one thing this Pokemon does it gets Sticky Web. Its bulk is garbage, but within a Violite it can take one hit, so that's all it really needs to get out those webs. And that's going to be my transactions here. Right on the transaction deadline, I'm going to go Pheromosa, Rotom Heat, Tornadus Eye, and Dragalge for Reshiram, Golbat, Slowking, and Dewpider. And these moves are pretty crazy, but I wanted to try Reshiram. I'm not sure if these are going to hurt my chances moving forward, but I wanted to use it. One life, I'm going to live it up. So that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.